It's time to change the oil in a few of my vehicles actually, but the first one we're going to do is going to be the 2024 Ford F250 Lariat Ultimate Tremor. We're going to change this oil. This one's really easy to do. Access to the filter and the oil drain plug are amazing. Of course, it's a large vehicle. It's a truck. It's the Tremor, so it's got a little bit of a lift on it already from the factory, so it's easy just to slide underneath there. You don't need jack stands and all that crap. So first thing you want to do is let your vehicle run if it's not already warm. This truck's been sitting here about a week or so. I've been driving my bike and a few other cars for the week. So this one hasn't ran for a while. Started it up about 12 or 13 minutes ago. I just got underneath there. I touched the oil pan and it's getting kind of warm, which is what you want. You want it to be warm. That way it flows out of that oil pan and out of the engine and all that kind of stuff the way it needs to get out of there, all that old oil. That being said, it's ran for a while. I'm going to shut it off. We're going to pop the hood. When you're doing an oil change on any vehicle, you want the basic supplies. You want your oil, you want your filter. In this case, we're using Rotella T6 5W40. We're going to need 15 quarts for this vehicle. And then I've got my Motorcraft filter FL212 4-S. That's the oil filter for this vehicle. You're going to need oil filter wrench, a funnel. You'll need a socket set with various sockets. I believe this is a 17 millimeter on this one. And then, of course, a pan or something to catch all the old oil. Before you open up the oil drain plug underneath, it's a good idea to go ahead and open up your oil filler cap. Mine is right over here. Let's see if I can get up in here. Right there. It has a little oil symbol on it here. Also says SAE 10W30, which is what they recommend. So you can just take this cap, twist it to the left, and pull it off. Put that somewhere safe. Don't forget to put that back on when we're done. What that does is it lets some air get in there and helps to push that old oil out by allowing air to get in the system and not have the system kind of chug-a-lug-lug. Once you have that done, we're now ready to get up underneath here. All you need for this first step is going to be your pan that your old oil is going to go in, a socket and a ratchet. You can use, I guess, a drill or something like that. Of course, don't use a drill to put this sumbitch back on. It's not supposed to be that tight. So it shouldn't really need anything other than a ratchet to come off. So there's our oil pan, and it's still warm, so that's good. That's what you want. You want it to be warm, not scalding hot, but warm. There is our plug, our drain plug. Get this here on it. Again, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So we're going to have this to where we have pressure pushing against it this way, which is going left or counterclockwise. We've got our pan under here. You don't want to have your pan directly underneath it at first. That oil is going to shoot out like a water faucet. It's going to shoot out this way some. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open. See, it wasn't hard to open up. It shouldn't be hard. It should come off relatively easy. Shouldn't take a lot of force to get this thing off because it seats in there. Got a little drippage already. And what I'll do is as I'm spinning this, I'll put some pressure on it. And as if you notice my hands, or my hand, I've got my hand up towards the top. Trying not to get a bunch of this oil on me. You can wear gloves or something if you want to. I've never been one to wear gloves and a lot of protective stuff. I just do stuff. It takes long enough to do this shit without having to get all the extra stuff. But I'll just keep my hand up here. I'm picking this oil pan up a little bit. And if my hand stays up top, I shouldn't get much, if any, oil on it. And as I'm putting pressure on this, I just keep turning until I feel all the threads come off, and then I can pull it out. Like that. But damn, my dumbass got all up in the oil though. I ain't gonna lie. So let that oil flow. Damn, son. And as it starts to come out, and as it starts to reduce that stream, just sit up under here and just keep pulling your pan back, because you want your pan to be directly underneath this when it starts to drip. So it drips in this thing and you don't get all over your driveway or your garage or any of that kind of shit. All right, so we're underneath there now. So we're gonna let that drain. I'm gonna clean my goddamn hands off since I fucked around and found out with the oil. Ugh, shit. And I'm getting too old to climb up underneath this shit. So there's your drain plug. Looks like that. It's always good to have paper towels on hand too. Take these paper towels. Get all this junk off my hands. And we'll let that drain for 5 or 10 minutes. Let all that oil get out of there till it gets to a slow drip. Sizes. Slide back underneath this bitch. All right, so start getting this thing loose with whatever wrench you're going to be using. Once you get it loose, it's going to start dripping oil. So I'm going to get my wrench out of the way once I can move this with my hand. And once it goes to damn dripping, I'm going to get my hand out the way. It usually will drip. Maybe this one's not. Maybe it's bled out enough. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure y'all can see this shit and also still do my goddamn oil change. Hope y'all appreciate this. Yeah, see, there's the oil. Now it's flowing. Fuck me. Bastard. Yeah. It's probably a good idea to have paper towels up under here with you. So when that shit happens, you're covered in goddamn oil. But we're having fun, you know what I'm saying, kids? We're having fun. Now I'm gonna drip this shit all over my goddamn garage. I should have brought some paper towels under here. But no, I'm worried about recording this damn video. Trying to help people out. Jesus. Okay. Let's get up from here. Let's try not to drip too much oil. And to keep the oil from dripping, you can just constantly turn your hand. So as it puddles up and wants to drip, maybe it won't drip. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's like going to the dentist. You forget how bad the shit really is until you do it. But now I'm in no means saying this isn't worth it. I like doing it. Afterwards now, doing it, and the act of doing it isn't like fun. All right, so that's gonna drain out. I'm gonna have a cigarette and reflect and come back and we'll clean that up, and then we'll put our oil filter, our new oil filter on, and put our existing drain plug back in, and then we'll fill it up with 15 quarts of oil. So we've given it about 7 minutes to drain the oil filter spot out of there. So let's go ahead and prepare this oil filter. I've seen people take some of the old oil and put it on this seal. That probably doesn't matter. I don't think it'll hurt anything. You just want to put it on there. It helps this oil filter kind of adhere and stick up in the little spot that you put it. I always use fresh oil. That's just the way I've always done it. So I'm going to take one of these and open it up. I just dab my finger in it and rub it around here and just get some of that old oil on this. In the past, with some of my like my Corvette and Hellcat and Scat Pack and a few of those like that I used to own, I would actually fill this filter up with oil. I think I read that somewhere. That was good or some shit. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't do it now, but if you've heard that or you want to do that, you can definitely pour oil into this filter if you want to. I don't believe it'll hurt anything. So now that we have our filter, I guess, lubed up, let's slide back under here. We'll slide back under here. Damn, I thought I had my paper towels with me. You do want to have some paper towels, son of a bitch. You want to have some paper towels with you doing this. Left them up here. Because you want to kind of clean this space off a little bit before you put the drain plug and the filter back in here. And it's probably better to use those damn blue shop towels that don't leave lint and that kind of thing. I don't have any of those, I don't think. I just use these damn paper towels. So crawl back under your shit. We'll set that filter down to the side. You can do either one of them first. It really doesn't matter. Take a few paper towels. Well, I gotta find my damn plug. Here it is. Get your plug. Get your plug close to you. I've got it wrapped up in this paper towel. Pull this out. And we'll just clean this little space off here. It's still gonna drip. That's fine. It's gonna be dripping. Don't cross thread it. Don't force it. Just let it thread in there and get it finger tight. Once you get it finger tight, it should stop dripping. Finish wiping that off there. So it's not going to drip anymore. Take your ratchet, spin the back of it around where it'll tighten, and we're going to tighten this thing up. You don't have to make this extremely tight or it's going to be really hard to get off. Don't use an impact wrench. Don't use a wrench at all. Use your socket with your ratchet. And we're going to pull it a little bit. And I'm sure there's probably a damn spec, a torque spec to these. And I'm not really, I just grunted, but I'm not really putting a whole lot of pressure on this. That's good. Same thing with the filter. When we put the filter on, it's going to be hand tight. We're not going to strap it and cinch it down or anything like that, because it'll be even worse than this one was to get off. I want to see if I can get this damn thing up here where you can see. So there's our little location where our filter goes, our oil filter. I'm going to clean that off. Try to clean up any of these little areas that got some oil on it. Once we clean that off, we're going to take our filter. We're going to put it up there. And we're going to thread it to the right. Again, don't cross thread it. Don't force it. Get it to go in there. And start turning him. And we're going to do this hand tight. All right, so that's on there. And then I'll take a few more paper towels. And again, I'll just make sure that most of this oil is off of here. Just like to be clean. If you get oil on some of this stuff under here, as it heats up, it'll smoke a little bit. It won't do any damage or hurt anything, but it'll smoke and it may cause you some alarm. You may wonder why it's smoking. So let's just clean this stuff up just a hair. Okay. So once you have that done, you can pull all your stuff out from under the vehicle. You don't want to forget and leave something under here, because if you do, you might run it over, and that could cause you some problems, cost you some money. And by doing this damn oil change, we're trying to save a little money by doing it ourselves. I'll come to this side. I'll wipe down anything I got over here. Looking good. I got a little bit on the concrete here, not bad. I can live with that. And then slide your pan out. See, I just dropped my oil filter down in that pan, and I'll get it out in just a little bit. Be careful pulling this pan out, especially something that uses this much oil, because it'll be fucking full and it'll slosh around on you. Farva there with his socks. Fuck socks. Now that we have underneath buttoned up, don't start your vehicle up. No, no, no. You don't have any oil in it. We have to add the oil. We're going to add it up here. This truck being as big as it is, I'm 6'1", but still, I'm going to use a step stool to help me out here. You can climb your ass up in the engine bay if you want to, if you're a young cat, or whatever you want to do. But I'm going to use a step stool. Now, the oil that I have, this particular vehicle uses 15 quarts. And I know from Google that there are 4 quarts in a gallon. These are gallon-sized jugs of oil. So 4 quarts and 4 quarts, that's 8. There's 12. One more would be 16. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3 full ones in, and we're going to put 3 quarts out of the last one in. So that will be 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, leaving 1 quart. I hate math too, but I figured all that out. So you can figure yours out as well. Oh, before you put oil in, make sure that you've got your drain plug and your oil filter secured down there, which we do. We just did it. Now we're going to start adding some oil. Let's see if this funnel is better than the last one. And this shit is a little nerve-wracking, I'm not going to lie, because you don't want to spill this shit all over the place. No matter how many times I've done it, I still make mistakes. I still spill oil from time to time. Not every time. So I sit that there and let that continue to drain in there just a little bit while I go grab my next one. So that was 4. This will make 8. So there's 4 going away. Drip. Take it out. Let's go with our next one. I'm going to try to hold this one down a little bit further because it's scary when you start to initially pour it from way up here. See, watch. Oh, God. Yeah, that's scary shit. But this funnel works really nice. I like this. Just like that, we have 8. Damn, some shit just bubbled out of there. All right. I've got more paper towels though. I'm not sure where that little splash went. That little air-induced splash, but I got that off of there. All right, you come on out of there. I'm tired of playing with you. So that's 8. One of these isn't a full one. That one, okay. So this will make 12. Let's get 12 in there. There we go, turn that bastard this way. That makes it better. Damn, it's still flip-flopping, sloshing around a little bit. Okay. Shit. Oh, goodness. So on this one, we're using 3 out of the 4 quarts. If you look on the side, it's kind of hard to see. Hell, it's hard to see in person, let alone on this thing, but on this camera. So up there will be your 4 quarts. So we're going to take it down to this line over here. Oh, sorry, there's quarts. This line right here is the 1 quart line. We're going to leave that amount in there. So we're going to pour this down until that, and we're going to check it a few times and make sure that we put the right amount in here. And then once we start the truck up and let it run, we're then going to check the oil dipstick and make sure we're reading within range. And we should be. We should be within range, my dear. So let's go with 3 out of 4 quarts on this one. That feels like it might be close, maybe. Let's see. We'll check it. No, I'm still up. I've got about 1.5 quarts left to put in here. It's always worse to add more oil or have more oil in your vehicle than less. It'll blow seals and do all this stuff, I've heard. Where are we at? I'm still at about 2. Let's add some more. And I'm going to check it on the concrete on a level, somewhat level surface. I won't hold it in my hand because I know that isn't level. So I'm not getting an accurate reading. So there goes some more oil. Let's set it down here. I'm at 1.5-ish. So we still got about 1/2 to put in. So it shouldn't be much more. I think we're going to be close. Man, it's hard to see. Let's come out into the light. There we go. I'm still a little bit above that quart mark. So let's add some more. Let's go check it out here in the light again. It's evening time, it's about 7 o'clock. A storm just came through, so there's not a whole lot of sun out right now. I mean, we are super close to being left with just a quart. So I'm going to go a little bit more. I want to get it as close as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. I knew because there's a range on your dipstick. to where you can have a little bit less or a little bit more. I don't know, probably within a half a quart or so. But I want to get it close as I can. Yeah. Yeah, we're right there. So I'll do one more little dip in here because we're right there at it. We are right there at it, fellas. There, I like that. Later on, I'll probably combine these two that I have because I have another one here that has a quart in it. Quart there, quart there. There's the box. Okay. Once we have all the oil in, we're going to pull this funnel out of here. I have some of these paper towels because this is going to make a mess when you pull it out. What I'll typically do is stuff paper towels down in here. I'll stuff one up this little stink hole here. I know I'm extra, but that's what makes me me. And I'm just doing this so any of this oil that decides it wants to keep draining out, because it will, it's fluid, it'll catch all that for me. And then I'll set that right there. Very important now is to put our cap back on in the engine. It is our oil filler cap. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and just get everything right around here. A quick little wipe down. Just make sure I don't have any oil dripping, because that thing did splash a little bit here and there. So here's our cap. You stick it back on. It's going to drop down in there once you twist it a little bit. So it's high, it dropped in, and now you twist it, and it'll twist half a turn. It's in there. It ain't coming up. So we have that back on. Before I start my vehicle up, I want to get up under here. Now that we have oil in the vehicle, I'm going to look under here and make sure I don't have any leaks coming from the oil filter or the oil drain plug. I don't see any leaks. That's good. Now we're going to start this thing up. I started it up. It's been running for about 5 or 6 minutes. Getting up to operating temperature. So let's shut it down. Slide it in there. Let's pull it out and take a look. Yeah, so we're a third of the way up the dipstick. I'm going to add the rest of that quart, and then we should be good on that. So let's add some more in here. And I think that's going to do it. I don't want to overfill it. I ain't going to check it one more time to make sure. But we have the recommended amount in there. We actually have probably almost a quart more than recommended. I wonder if that changed anything there. Yeah, I mean, we're It's so goddamn hard to tell. I've watched other videos on this, and I mean, it's just, it's fucking hard to tell. All right, so that is clean. Stick this back in. Because now it looks like there was oil up towards that top mark, which I don't want it to be up there. I mean, there's a majority of oil that stops about there, but then I have oil up there too. This fucking sucks. Let's do it again. I may wind up having to drain some oil out of this damn thing. I mean, it appears to be, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's on the full mark, because I cleaned it all the way off. And there's no oil on the dipstick. Slide it in. Let it sit there. It's all the way in. Pull it out. Yeah, there's oil all the way up there. All right, well, I'm good with that. It's all the way at the top. Now I've got to go reset the oil light in here. Let's find where that is. Should be under vehicle maintenance. Oil life was at 9%. Hold OK to reset. And now we're back at 100. Okay, that works. 13,585 miles. I just hope I didn't overfill it, but we'll see. So that shit's kind of freaking me out when I think I added too much oil, even though I know all I added was about half a quart more than it's supposed to get. But reading this damn dipstick is a pain in the ass. But I just did it again, and it looks like it's halfway full. I mean, I see a little bit of oil on those two up here, on the like the full and over full or whatever marks, but a majority of the oil is about halfway up that stick. And surely if it was up to here, all of those grooves on this end would be covered in oil like they are on that side down there. So I think that's just fucking coming up through that tube or something that's getting some oil on it that makes it look like it's overfilled. I mean, I'm willing to bet you it's right there in the good mark. So I'm not concerned anymore. I don't want you to be concerned. That is good to go. I ain't worried about that. Because like I said, If it was overfilled, that whole damn stick, all the little grooves all the way up, would have a bunch of oil on them. It wouldn't have it halfway up, stop, and then have oil on them damn maximum level marks. So that being said, I worry. I don't know why I'm worried so much today, but I was fucking worried about this shit for some reason. So yeah, we're good. And that's it. I promise you it isn't as hard as I made it look. I freak out sometimes because I don't want to damage anything. And like I said, I worked all day from 5 a.m. to about 4 p.m. Came home, started cutting grass, and then started doing this shit. So I'm a little tired, I'm a little hungry, but that's done. So last night I was laying in the bed and I was reading some information on some different forums and Facebook groups about this particular truck and the 6.7 Power Stroke. Most everybody in there, 90% of everybody in there, was having the same problem I was having. They'd replace the oil, they'd put the 15 quarts in, and they would just have a little bit of oil on their dipstick. So they would add, some people were adding a quart, some were adding 2. I just added about a half, maybe 3/4 of a quart to mine to make it go up the dipstick. So I think it's a issue that everybody was having, and most everybody was saying that they added 16. They just do the 4 gallons, making it 16 quarts. And then they just run it and they haven't had any issues. I'm not gonna go that far. I did add that extra half a quart, and I don't believe that'll hurt anything if we're wrong. A few people were saying that it was some issue with Ford putting the wrong dipstick in these trucks that didn't reach down enough. Some people were saying that, hey, the manual says 15, do 15. It was a big thing. I mean, there was a bunch of posts about it. So I feel like it's a common issue, so I'm not crazy when I went to check the dipstick and it looked funny after 15 quarts. So it isn't just me, it's everybody with these trucks. So I feel better about that. I did check the oil again this morning. It seems like it's full. It almost seems like it's too full now that it sat here overnight. But I'm not gonna sweat it. Like I said, an extra half a quart when you're talking about 15 quarts, an extra half, I don't believe it's gonna kill anything. It's not gonna mess up blowout seals and all that different stuff. If I'd have put an extra quart or 2 in, I'd probably drain some out right now. So I just wanted to give an update on what I read last night. So I'm not crazy. That's just how it is. And like I said, this is my second oil change. The first one, I don't remember noticing anything funny after I put the 15 quarts in. Maybe I didn't look hard enough. Maybe I was having a better day that day and just was skipping around and thought everything was great. But like I said, nothing happened to my truck for that 7,500 miles that I drove it after the first oil change. So it's all good. All right, just want to give you an update. All right, so I feel like an idiot. After changing oil in that truck the other day, I went to drive, came back home, and I saw oil leaking everywhere. All in the garage, I had oil. I mean, I probably leaked out a quart of oil, and that's not even counting driving into town. So I looked, and my oil filter was leaking oil pretty severely. Not terrible, not like spewing out, but it was leaking out. So I tightened it up some more and it was tight as piss. I mean, I can't get it any more tight. So that being said, I thought to myself, well, damn, surely I got that old gasket out of there before I put the new filter on. I took the filter off, and sure enough, my dumbass left the old filter on there. It didn't come off with the old filter that I pulled out. So I've got, you have to excuse me here. So I've got 2 gaskets that were on that filter. There's the gasket that was on the new filter. There's the gasket that was on the old filter, and of course me tightening it down and stuff, it broke that gasket. But having two gaskets on there allowed it to have a gap. It would not seal properly and it leaked oil. So I should have mentioned that in the video, but I wasn't even thinking about the shit. So I'm out, you know, probably $20 worth of oil. I'm out this $24 or whatever this costs oil filter, because I'm not going to reuse this filter. I just threw it in here and put another one on. So yes, make sure when you go to put this filter on with this,
What are you doing?
I'm shooting a video. So, yep. So when you go to put this back on, make sure that you don't have this filter, this gasket. Make sure you don't have this gasket still stuck up there when you go to screw this one on. I think part of my problem was it was dark under there and I couldn't see much. I should have had a flashlight on, but anyway, learn from my mistakes. That's what this damn channel is about, is learning how I do things, and when I fuck up, learn from my mistakes. So do that. Make sure you get the gasket, the old gasket off of there. Make sure that comes off. Make sure you see it on that old filter. Make sure you grab it, whatever, and then you'll be good to go. So I've got the new filter put on. I added another half a quart or so of oil, maybe a quart of oil to it, and we're good to go.
Dada,
Yeah.
why do you always post YouTube videos about building things?
So people can learn from me what I do, and if I make any mistakes, they won't make the same mistakes.
Stop putting the camera on me.
Why?
Stop.
Okay.